Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, and today we're looking at the FPV BluFO. This is an EPP based design by Joel Dirnberger of RCGroups.com. And Joel designed this, put it out on the web, created it, and here we are. It comes in a bag. It's laser cut by Jim over at RA Cores. There's the power system in the baggie, and then after you spend some time, read the instructions, glue everything together, get out some of your own paint, create your own custom trim scheme. This is what you could have flying in the air. The nose has plenty of room there for FPV cam, and I have a video transmitter on the back. That's kind of why I purchased and built this kit. And so what we're going to do today is look at my build photos, talk a little bit about the build itself. Then we're going to take it to the field, show you how to launch it, show you how it flies, and then we're going to cut to some FPV footage coming off the craft itself. So let's get going. One thing I'll emphasize is use foam tack on everything because CA is brittle, and while it might be faster, foam tack is better, and it gives a great bond between the EPP pieces. The one thing you might need CA on is your control rods and putting those together. That is the only thing you actually need it for. Also, they don't come pre-painted, so I just taped off some racing stripes, took it outside, any paint will do, and I laid down some red, black, and white, my power colors. They're my favorite colors. And as simple as that looks, it actually came out pretty cool. So I laid some silver down on the top fins. One thing I'll say is you'll see in my little cockpit area, I painted that red. Don't do that because you're going to have Velcro that wants to stick in there for ESCs and receivers, and you don't want paint in there. So that was something I should not have done. Things on the bottom, skids and things like that, I actually left those white because I figured they'd be touching the ground and paint would be peeling off. So you have a little air inlet at the top. There's a hole at the back. I created a separate vent just for fun. And I really built this for FPV. So what I have is a camera on the nose. It's on a mount like this so it can angle down because the airplane flies at a little bit of an angle. So you don't want to be looking at the sky the whole time. And that worked out really well. There's a washer on the backside making sure it doesn't rip through. And then this just happened to be a video transmitter I had laying around. The reason it's so far back is that's where I had to go to get the CG right. But it works fine. It's simply Velcroed on, and the Velcro is stuck on with foam tack. You guessed it. So here we see the motor. That is an 8x3.8 prop. You can run an 8.4 with the power system. Plenty of power, lots of pep. And you can see all the carbon fiber in there and how it's keeping everything nice and stiff. Some people run CF on the edges as well. I did not do that. Build time on the actual frame for me was around 3 hours. Now that does not include then putting the motor on and control rods and tweaking out the fuselage and getting everything just right. So I had more time in this than I thought I would. But once again, super simple, and it kind of got more gratifying as the plane was built and I was putting all the components on and getting things ready. So it is ready, as you can see in this photo. So let's go out to the field and I'll show you how I hand launch it, and then we'll do a little FPV. Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, and today we've been flying the BluFO from RA Cores. We were just talking to RA yesterday on the RC Groups live broadcast. I was at Joel and saw this sitting on his table, and the Ready-Made RC guy said, "You should fly this, Jim. You'll really like it." So the thing that really caught my eye were these fins, and that I was hoping that would allow me to, in a turn, kind of groove a little bit more, and that certainly is the case. It's pretty windy out here, but this thing doesn't seem to care. As you can see, I've mounted a camera on the nose. Per Mr. RA, Jim, he said that the camera should be pointed down a little bit because this thing tends to want to ride a little high, so the camera should be about right. We're shooting onboard video as well, and then I also have, see how windy it is? I also have a video transmitter with a nice 5.8 system on here, and we have the stock power system with an 8. This is a 8x3.8, I believe. So it's usually an 8x4. And then you can see our throws that we have back here. We went a little higher than stock for better rolls and things like that. So there you have it. So today we're going to fly this thing and do some FPV and just have a good time. So that was simple enough. That was my second try. The first time I did that, it actually, I didn't throttle up enough, and so I just lightly landed in the grass and grabbed it. That was my second attempt at chunking it. I did use the recommended throws, but for me, those throws were a little low. We couldn't get inverted flight very well. And we, what else? It didn't want to, we almost couldn't pull out of certain things. So I put the throws up at 100% in my DX9, which instead of a half an inch of throw up and down, it probably is a full inch up and down. And I would suggest that, by the way. If you want to do dual rates, you could, but what I did is I just ran Expo, I believe 38%, and then I put everything on 100. So there you see, it's a flat winged airplane, elevons, and the fins are there to help it track better in the wind, you know, multiple fixed rudders. And that's kind of what it does. So with that, let's jump to some FPV. So we're going to do just your standard side launch. Just instead of holding it from behind, I was holding it from the side and would go about half throttle and let go. And I kept it level and flew out. Once again, the winds, I don't know if I mentioned this, were definitely at the minimum 10 miles an hour and gusting. We'd had a huge storm the night before. So it's definitely rocking with the wind. I'm running my head plate goggles, 5.8 system, cloverleaf on the head plates. I've run directionals and I've tried different things on my head plate goggles, but I like an Omni because that way I don't have to figure out which way to point my head to get a good signal. And then an 832 video transmitter. I believe that's 600 milliwatts. And what kind of antenna did I have on that? I had a nice antenna. It's a bird's eye view antenna. It's kind of a high dollar deal. They do everything by hand. It's got gold in it. And I always have good luck with that antenna out here. So it's interesting. I'm picking up a little static here, but there are other places where I should have picked up static and didn't. But that's got nothing to do with the airplane. So right now I'm just flying around trying to get a feel for it, and Jason is on the ground in his cool, nope, there he went. I was gonna say, Jason had his Wyvern out, which is a super fast FPV craft, plane, winged, and I said, man, bring that out and we can fly around together. Essentially, the BluFO is the BluFO is a slow flying craft. It's, you know, it's got a 8x38 prop on it, so it's not going to get up there. There he goes. I said, let's shoot the little tree gap here. People at the field tend to warn us whenever we go over here in the goggles. They tell us that we're getting near the edge of the field and that we're going to hit a tree. We're used to them thinking that we're going to crash, but and so then Jason was like, hey, let's go through here, that little gap you just saw. And I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to go through in the woods in the middle of summer. But I did see this, and I thought, oh, this looks interesting. So it was very, I don't know if intuitive is the word, but it was and I'm pretty far away here and off to my left. And I should have remembered that I was signaling out in this area, but I didn't, and you'll see what happens here in a minute. But as you can see, man, the wind is jostling me a little bit, but if you're looking for something that's EPP, inexpensive, that you can put some FPV gear on, this is definitely that. Inexpensive, probably a little over $70 with everything to get this craft in the air. That plus your time and some creativity. So we're about to end our FPV flight, and what I'm going to do is shoot these trees. And I think what happens is I grab this little Christmas tree in the middle. Bam! But overall, you know, here's some low, slow stuff, and here's a loop. And I'll probably some rolls. But it's a fun little close-in craft that you can put the goggles on and throw with your right hand while you're modulating the throttle with your left, and it flies right out. So that is the BluFO. A lot of interest at the field here. Let me. We're getting to the end, so I'm thinking there was a dog. If there's anything else? Landing is nothing. Level the wings, chop the throttle, and bring it in, and that is all you have to do. And once again, you can purchase. There's that dog again. I forget that dog's name. Honey or Sugar or something. But you can get these at racores.com. That's the letters RA, then CORES.com. Jim is a great guy. In fact, we just had him on our live Google YouTube channel this week. And you can find him at just about every show that there is out there. Maybe not every show, but many of the shows. Great guy. So go to the site, look up BluFO. There's a twin version of this as well. And I hear there's something else coming out, so be aware of that. And then we're going to land it. This is how you land it. It's so difficult. Not really. So that is the BluFO from RA Cores. You can check it out at racores.com. Jim Reith will hook you up. You can also check out the full review at rcgroups.com in the description link below. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Graham.